So again, Impunity going for that central rotation that we were talking about. They really like to go for this. And I don't know if Popeyes has yet found the method to the madness to be able to stop this kind of transition, because we've seen them actually just try to like bend over to this type of strat. But at the same time, at least they do have Aeon 222 gonna be, or rather, I'm just gonna call him Aeon, so a little bit taxing to say 222. Aeon's gonna be trying to push the lane right now and just get as much XP as possible. On the same side, Chingy with the Taka, I don't think he's gonna get countered out too easily, because that is a Taka. He does have the invisibility to be able to get out from harm's way if ever it does get a bit too hairy for him. So Impunity's strat here needs to result into a turret, unless I feel like Popeyes is gonna get a pretty good, I guess, laning stage right now.
Yeah, laning stage here for Popeyes as Lance actually misses. Nice sidestep there by Tezaboy on this Lyra. Again, Popeye's composition is very dive heavy. They can immediately combine it with the arcane passage coming from Tezaboy. Whoa!
Really? You want to go for it, Lyra? Let's go, baby. Let's go. And the first blood will be taken there by Impunity. And yeah.
I was
I
very puzzled by that move. I mean, we've seen it over and over where they're a little bit ballsy in terms of these risky types of plays, which actually suits Popeyes well, but during the early stage of the game, you definitely don't want to do that, as Taka will be leading the charge here with Chingy.
Here comes Aeon from the sidelines, but they won't be able to get that Treant as they wanted to. Chingy and Aeon will be forced to actually recall, as Tezaboy will be trying to defend this lane. Well, the thing here that we gotta look at is Tezaboy is good at handling sieges, but at the same time, she's not good at handling the damage from the siege. She's good at making her teammates survive longer in defense of the turret, but a Taka and Idris don't really do that too well, because they have so much single damage potential. So right now, Popeyes has to survive. They have to get the items, and once this game progresses a little bit more into the mid game, once they have their damage spike items, that's when I feel like Popeyes will try to do something a bit more, like you said, a bit more aggressive, a bit more ballsy. So
exactly, because they're probably going to be waiting for that level 6 spike, aside from the item spike that Popeyes is expecting to get here. The Lyra pick really melds well with the Idris and the Taka. The Sigil with the movement speed, good sustain against Impunity, but they're going to do this kind of rotation, aggressive rotation, if you will.
Here they come, baby, and there's a good lineup from the Lance. My goodness, that follow from the Githyan as well, just wrecking face of Popeyes. Back away, Chingy, back away, because 3 members of Impunity are hot on your tracks. He tries to go in left and right, dodging as much as he can, and he will be able to get away, but still Impunity gets a double kill.
I feel like they really should take it easy a little bit. Putting yourself in that position against a Lance is just free stun for Cote d'Ivoire. So it was really questionable. I mean, they were already on towards the lane. Impunity was already safe at that spot in terms of, like, they're not going to be aggressive. They're just playing passively. So Popeyes has a lot of room in terms of farming during the early game. For me, they really don't have to do anything. They just have to be a little bit more patient. But I feel like they have a plan in mind, perhaps get a pick or 2. Turns out it was everybody there in lane, although they've spotted that out earlier. I feel like they do have a plan in mind. It's just that they should choose their fights wisely here, as these congested areas is definitely Impunity's, bowl of death for Popeyes.
Yeah, the ball of death really is something to be feared at, because once that connection from the Lance, or the stun connects from the Lance, this poke type of composition becomes easier to hit your skill shots, and that's the thing that's allowing Impunity to actually win the fights. But now they find a good target right here, the Castrol. Oh my goodness, Cote d'Ivoire is so good at landing those crowd controls that the follow from Popeyes is a little bit too lackluster there, Riku.
Exactly. I really thought it wasn't supposed to be a 1-for-1 exchange, but Impunity played that out well. I feel like that was mispositioning. That was a little bit too comfy for Impunity to actually just comfortably go towards that brush. Even though complete members from Popeyes were there, they can immediately cut out the retreat path of whoever is going to be retreating last. So again, a bit questionable, but I understand, because they have the right amount of damage to actually bait these sorts of plays. But we'll see. They're already pressuring the lane so far. But Popeyes is just dancing towards the song of what Impunity is playing. They're definitely not dictating the pace of the game. It's Impunity who's just roaming around places. And with that said, they've got a really good amount of vision on their side, which is very smart for Impunity because Popeyes is definitely the type to create pickoffs. But look at that. Popeyes, you know, we're not going to be playing your game. You get out of the lane. We're going to push through this. And that is why Popeyes, they're sort of adjusting already to the play.
Oh, here it is. Idris delivery system. But no! They went to the mile 2 off. And Chingy will get blown up. 1 shot, 1 kill. Solar Storm and Solar Flare as well. Oh my goodness. The humanity. Tessa Boy, where are you going? Once again, Deja Vu happens all over. And that's the ace for Impunity. My freaking God. What was that?
The thing is, it was supposed to be the perfect execution, the perfect timing, as Impunity was a little bit too scattered in this point because Celeste was actually separated, but she turned around, repositioned, got behind the lance, and it wasn't, again, this choke point is detrimental for Impunity. It's one of those things where Lance can easily land those CCs. And then again, for the side of Popeyes, their composition is a little bit more safe with the Lyra because once you get that arcane passage, if that delivery system doesn't work, then they can immediately go and disengage if things gets a little bit too sticky. But that did not work because Tezit Boy is still level 5. There's no safety whatsoever just yet. If you get locked in, then it's GG. Plus the DOT heals will not be able to save you from the bursts coming from Impunity's damage. So imagine Celeste and everything else, but hold that thought. Here comes an engage.
Retsu coming out from Chingy is going to back away immediately, but oh, that ultimate from the Celeste was so close to getting the kill. Nice body block from the one-shot, one kill, onto the one-shot, one kill there. So they will be able to survive with 3 men still alive right here. But you can see Impunity, they have so much objectives in their minds. If they don't get the kill, they'll immediately try to bully their way into the jungle and maybe get those camps. But you got to give it to Popeye as well. They got good damage on the turret. They just need to kill it down.
Definitely. Like 1/4 HP already for the first turret from Impunity side. Popeyes feel like they could have played that well or better, but you can see them ramping up already. We see Quart of Raw actually chunk down to 1/4 HP. They're going to be taking it a little bit more easy for now. Arcane Passage wasn't part of the equation from earlier. And I feel like with Arcane Passage already on the table, on the equation, I feel like they can make these more aggressive, pop out of your face type of plays with the Arcane Passage being used aggressively. But for me, perhaps they would want to try and reserve that for these escapes where they're not prepared for. But then again, Deft Q and Blue City, their damage is just too much.
Too bad, so sad. This gold miner is gonna be caught out by the Castro. That's really bad right now for Popeyes. They really would have wanted to got that for the extra gold and Aeon in a very bad spot, but he'll be able to get away from that one. But mission not accomplished. Well, we still have to give it to Popeyes though, because Chingy did buy into the Storm Crown, and Storm Crown does allow Ataka to go for those solo type of objectives, but Impunity, they know what was up.
They definitely know what's up because there's a lot of safety or counter, if you will, on the side of Impunity. Popeyes is a very dive-centric composition. Once you dive in, there's a couple of CCs that Impunity has on their table with the lands that they have, with Blue City on the Celeste as well. So the core collapse is a very good tool to actually punish these types of aggressive plays. So with Popeyes, they really have to rethink on what their priority is for now. Are they going to be, farming for more until they have enough damage and make sure that they secure the kill once they go dive in and make sure that everything's settled? For Tessa Boy, he gets the impale, and here we go. He's going to be healing himself right up at bullet.
Nice damage coming in from that. There we have it. That's what I'm talking about. Idris delivery system, baby. And here we go. They're going to be spawning out the Castro. He goes down. Quarterball, you got to back away, son, because right now Popeyes looking for that comeback. Goes in, combats roll into the embracing arms of that Treant, but it's not really going to be enough. And there's the triple kill, baby. And here we go. Popeyes looking for that comeback.
That was the perfect situation for Popeyes. Just as I was mentioning they need to gather more items so that they can immediately burst someone down, no retaliation whatsoever, they managed to execute it well with the Idris and the Taka. They played that super well. They got over the wall, knowing Lance was on the other side, and that was just the perfect situation for them. That was bypassing the defense of Impunity, which was the Lance, and just immediately going for the squishy targets, which was the Celeste and the Kestrel. So
you broke down what happened in the clash, but if you look at the deeper portion of that, weapon infusion and crystal infusion for the Taka and the Idris, so they got more damage. They invested onto these consumable steroids so that they have more more oomph in that team fight. If you actually look as well as onto Aeon's itemization, Sorrow Blade and Poison Shiv, so he's going to be able to hit like a truck, and then Chingy able to at least get himself a reflex block as well so that he won't be stopped even if he is invisible. Right now, here comes the flank from Popeyes, and let's see what happens.
Oh, there you go. That's Taka running away with invisibility. Aeon in no man's land.
No.
He's going to die immediately, but looks like he'll be able to get a kill off of that. It's 3-0 in favor of Impunity with empowered minions, and they'll be pushing this turret.
Well, if you don't get the burst, if you don't get the immediate assassination, that's the weakness, I guess, of the composition there for Popeyes. It worked once, but now they can't go unknown into the fight. They have to calculate if they can get the shutdown. If they can't, it's really not going to happen.
They have to kill secure it, most definitely, if they get into the fight. It's very linear, if you will. They go in, even though they have a couple of maneuvering skills, mobility skills in their plate, there's the Lance that will just deny all that. Plus the damage, again, from DefQ and Blue City. They're just super insane in terms of damage, especially at this point of the game. 13 minutes in, and they're just going to be exploding these squishy targets. Definitely, Chingy and Aeon would definitely want to invest on damage because they want to burst someone down, correct. But then, if they don't manage to secure that, DefQ and Blue City is definitely just going to run you over. Just as you said, hit them like a truck. One shot, one kill. Immediately gets Aeon, but the heal from the Sigil, from the Lyra, will just heal that all back, which is okay.
Popeyes can't go for the formation that they were looking for just yet. There's a lot of flares right now, and Chingy is really getting focused upon here by Impunity. Now it seems that Popeyes will be forced to actually show their hand, and Impunity fought that, played that so well. Quart d'Ivoire is pooping out vision right now. There's no other way to say it. He is just showing every single tactic of Popeyes, and another ace will be had by the IMP squad, or the Imp squad.
The Imp squad, indeed. Impunity is doing so well. Solid composition. Popeyes does not find an opening whatsoever. They did it once, but from the looks of it, with this gold lead coming from Impunity and so much control, so much vision being laid out onto the table, Popeyes does not seem to have that opportunity to actually get back into the fight and probably finish one target. As the game goes, DefQ, Blue City on the Celeste and Kestrel duo is just going to be super duper painful. And I feel like they're just definitely going to have a harder time to actually burst targets down this time around.
True that. Flare gun is in the pocket of Quart d'Ivoire, so that's why he had so many flares to work with, Todoi. But right now, this is Impunity's game to lose, actually, because Popeyes, they need a certain win condition. Oh, that sidestep, though. But here it comes. He's going to go in by himself, give a little bit of opening there for Aeon, but they found Aeon in the midst of it all. That confusion was enough that they got themselves another blow-up, and Chingy's not going to be able to escape. And an ace once again, 17-4. All predictions are going out of the window.
Yeah, out of the window, out of the door, out of our houses. Impunity.
Into the street.
Into the street, down towards the mall, into our venue. Impunity here with a very dominating performance against Popeyes.
Here it is. Hail Mary defense. It's not going to be enough. Core is exposed, and that vein is popped. No glory for Popeyes.
No glory for Popeyes indeed, as Impunity, really good showing in this tournament. Despite losing game number 1, looks like they're back in terms of their confidence and their plays and their strategies, and I'm so impressed how that went out.
Excuse me, guys. I actually thought Popeyes, they looked like they had a chance of coming in once they took that one ace. I was thinking like, hey, I wonder if Popeyes can actually turn this around. No.
No.
No. What do you actually think went wrong, Brave?
I'm not sure, but like as Azura he said, you know,
The delivery system?
yeah, the delivery system.
Yeah.
They kind of failed to deliver many times.
Yeah, that's true.
I only can see once, and they got ace when that. And besides that, they never seem to get it. And also, Celeste Solar Storm, the following the make of from Celeste is always good. There's always kill someone when there's a Solar Storm.
The thing that I saw there why Popeyes lost was one of two things. It was the good clairvoyance there of Impunity to actually have vision all around so that, you know, there was no chance for Popeyes to actually get that delivery system on, which was their win condition. That's the second thing. Their win condition was to land a good delivery system with the Idris, with the Taka, but they had no good openings whatsoever. They tried to force themselves in. It didn't really work, and I think that's when the downfall happened for Popeyes.
I actually wanted to ask you guys, was vision an issue for Popeyes? Because obviously when you're playing a dive-centric lineup, you need the appropriate vision to determine whether it's the right time to go in. We didn't really see too much vision coming out from them at all, did we? They mostly went into the fights blind.
That is true. Plus, I really never saw Impunity separated for too long. They were always roaming around in squads. They were always patrolling together, which is difficult for Popeye's composition because they are not able to easily get a pick off from that. Lance was always there, and the fights that they're picking is always in these congested areas where they always get countered by the Gynthian wall and by the impale coming from the Lance.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the CC from Impunity have the most to reveal Taka. Yeah, so Impunity seems to don't really need much of the vision. Yeah, that's what.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's sort of easier to just stick together as a team because you know if a team has a lineup that wants to fight, if you're together and you know where everyone is, obviously it's going to be much easier to protect the teammates that you need because you're all in the right places. You understand, okay, we've got Cote d'Ivoire in the front with our Lance. We know he's always going to be within arm's reach, quite literally with the impales as well as the combat role as well. So I just felt like Impunity as a team, they knew how to execute their lineup. Whereas for Popeyes, they couldn't quite get their leg up when it came to that execution. So maybe instead of trying to continue with the dive comp, I felt like they needed to change their play style entirely.
That's true.
Here's the thing that I kind of seen from Popeyes and Impunity. They're like two clashing styles right here. Impunity, they would always want to go for some good poke in the back line, good front line as well, and with some CCs, and then they always go for that early game rotation from jungle to lane, jungle and lane. That's just one play style that they have played so well in these 3 matches. And then for Popeyes, it's been kind of like trying to figure out how to counter that with so many strats, but it's not working yet, or it might not work at all.
Could we almost say that Popeyes, their biggest weakness is when they try to counter another team?